Hi everybody, well we're back in the workshop, hopefully for a short video this time, and it's just about a bit of an update I've done to the Allsky camera. You might notice that I have a very long Ethernet cable attached to it. Now, before, when in my previous video you saw I was running from a PowerPoint the USB-C to power the Raspberry Pi, and that came as a 3 amp sort of power supply, if you like, and which ran everything perfectly fine. But it sort of meant with that short cord I was going to have to plug that into one of our 240 volt cables to try and get power from wherever I might have had a PowerPoint all the way out to the Allsky camera. So then I thought, well, maybe it was better to try and do power over Ethernet, hence why there is this very long Ethernet cable here. I had quite a few of these cables left over from the days when I was doing Christmas light displays, so I got lots of long cables to use. Now, I went and purchased the Power over Ethernet hat that goes on the Raspberry Pi. There was an older version before 2021, I think it was, that provided about 12.5 watts of power, which was really just 2.5 amps given the 5 volt input. And that, I don't know whether that would be enough to run the whole thing, the Pi and the camera and everything fine. I know when I was using a USB charger like for the phone that was outputting 2.5 amps, it struggled a bit. This new one, that they updated in 2021, is the Pi Hat. It's POE plus, so it's got a plus on it because it has extra power, so it'll give you 25 watts of power output, so basically 5 volt 5 amp effectively. So the only thing is though that if you want to run it over the PoE, you need to get the full wattage, you need a gigabit PoE plus injector here, which is this one here. Now this relatively cheap, I think this is 45 New Zealand dollars. I think I've seen them on Amazon for about 22 US. You might be able to get it cheaper than that. And that basically has an output here which it says is gives the power out to the Allsky camera, and then if you want to attach it to your local network with a LAN cable, you can. I'm not doing it at the moment because I'm just using the wireless directly off this, so I'm just plugging this into power. I've got this Ethernet cable just plugged into this port over here, and it all seemed to run fine. The Pi Hat, the PoE plus Pi Hat, was around about 45 New Zealand dollars again, so probably on Amazon you probably find it around $22. So not that expensive, and it just means that I can now give it all the power I want from quite a distance away. I understand that you'll get power over Ethernet for up to 100 meters, so that's pretty good distance. So let's just quickly open up and have a look inside, and I'll show you what the connection is and where the PoE plus Pi Hat is sitting. Okay, so I'm just going to disconnect a few things here just so I can get the Raspberry Pi out. Disconnect the Ethernet, and I'll just disconnect this. Now, you'll notice that there's some tape over here, and that's the one thing. The old version of the Pi Hat you could sort of put on top of the Pi and you could still use this case. The new version is made as such a way that you can't just click it back on as normal. I've done I've sort of cut away a bit of the plastic so that I could get it to at least sort of hold on down here, but it won't click in down here, so that's why the tape is there. But we'll just take this off, and here is the Pi Hat. Here it just plugs into all the pins that are on the Raspberry Pi, or the little receiver for the pins. So the whole thing just clips down. there's nothing really else to do, and then it's a matter of whatever you're doing to make it fit. So as I said, I can get the front bit down and the back bit just will not clip on, and that is just because of this. You can't get it to these clips because of the height of the hat that's sitting on here. And I'll put a link in the description below about where you can get hold of this one. I guess if you've got one of the older ones, you could try it to see if it'll run the whole thing fine. But I couldn't actually get hold of an old one. They only seem to have the new ones available. So I'm going to put that on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it on, plug it in. So we're going to plug this in first. It's got the green light there, so you can see that it's going. And I'm just going to plug this in here, and it's got to make sure I'm in the right port. And that says it's got the power and data out. So just plug that in there like that. And the Pi will be starting up. I can see the little red light down there, and I'm just going to grab my iPad and we'll flick to the site and show the Allsky site and show that it's actually working. Okay, where I've got I'll just go to Chrome, and I've got the website here ready to sign in, and put in my password and sign in. And it says the camera is off during the day, so because that's the way I had it set up. So I'm going to go to the editor. I'm just going to run down to daytime capture. Here I'm going to change that to true. And then save changes. And then I'm just going to go to the system. And I'm going to stop the Allsky and then restart the Allsky. And go back to the live view. And now it says this Allsky software is starting up, and you can see the workshop here and me and my filming light. Yeah, if we just go into system, there's a little noise kicked in there, so fans kicked in, but you can see there's no throttling, so it's running that fine, and at the moment it's just 49.7 degrees. I haven't fiddled around with changing the settings on when the fan does and doesn't kick in, but I think I might just leave it going all the time just to make sure that it's always trying to keep it cool. But yeah, that all seems to be working well using the power over Ethernet. So the one thing about the fan is it can be a bit noisy, and I'm just going to hold it up to my microphone, and if you can hear it there. So it was sort of going quietly, turning over below 50 degrees, but as soon as I went over 50 degrees, so I'm 52.6 degrees, it kicked into high speed. And I did hear that the new version has a louder fan than the old version, so that's something else to be aware of. But I think probably at night, you know, particularly if it's in winter, it's going to be cold. It's going to be below the 50 degrees anyway, probably. So the fan won't be particularly loud, and I'm not going to be running it during the day when it's hot. So I'm not too worried about that. Plus, once I get the lid on, it sort of quietens it quite considerably. So I don't think anybody's going to notice that at night. Okay, so as I said, just a quick video just to show you the little change I've made to this, and I think this will be a lot better, being able to run a long cable like this, and I can have the actual power injector here for the Ethernet cable well tucked away inside, and won't have to be running a 240 volt power supply outside. I think it'd just be a lot more safe, to be honest. So yeah, consider that if you want to set up your Allsky camera, that the power over Ethernet is working well, and particularly with the new version of the Pi Hat. But just remember, you've got to have the POE plus. It's got to have the plus symbol. I'll put a link to this and to the Pi Hat, the POE Pi Hat in the description below. I'll probably use an Amazon link or something like that. Anyway, we're back into having storms again, so as soon as we get some clear skies, hopefully get under out imaging again, and then hopefully we'll see you in the next video. So until then, I hope everybody's getting lots and lots of clear skies.